Hello everyone, this is Halfway Check. Now if you have reached till here, it means that you have almost completed the course to 70%. Now before we move further, let's go ahead and test our collection. To do that, let's follow the steps. Now if you see here, the very first item in the academy is to open this collection. Now this collection is a test collection which we need to create a fork copy of. Let's go ahead and click on the name of the collection. Here you can see we have 3 requests: halfway check, final check, and submit our collection. Once we fork this, we don't need to refork it, because we can use the same collection to do the final check as well, and then to claim our certificate as well. The classic way of calling an API and getting your certificate. What better way to learn about APIs than getting your certificate via an API call? So let's go ahead and create a fork copy. Now if you click here on the top, you can see the fork button. Just click on that and it will open a window where you can add a fork label and you can select the workspace. Remember, the fork label should be unique. It just differentiates you from the master collection if you have it in the same workspace. And then the workspace. Here you can see I have selected the workspace which I just created earlier in the lessons. So I'll kind of fork that in the same workspace. You can click on Watch Original Collection to receive notifications for any changes made in the parent collection. Awesome. Now remember, what does forking means? Forking means we are creating a copy of this collection into our own workspace. And we can kind of go ahead and walk around with that, because here we cannot edit this collection. So we are creating a copy of it. Let's hit that fork button. As you can see, it refreshes and creates a copy in our own workspace. And now let's go ahead and edit this. Now, before we do that, what I want to do is revise a little bit about all the things which we did till now, so that you don't receive errors and you can do a little recap quickly. Now, if you look here, the very first request we executed was get books. Here you can see we have set the base URL and the path is /books. If you send this request, it just returns back books, nothing much. The second request is get fiction books. Here we have added 2 query parameters. The first one is genre and the second one is checked out. As you can see, the values, the one for genre is fiction and for checked out is false. Make sure the values are same because in test it will evaluate the values as well. Then there is get books by ID. Here we have used path variables where we have added a /:ID in front of the URL, and we are passing ID as variable. And then the last request, which is add book. Now you can see add book request has a body which has key value pair of the book you want to add. We have scripting where we are setting a variable called as ID via fetching the ID in the response. So that is for the add request. Now remember one thing, we are also setting a collection level authorization. So if you click on the name of the collection and if you click on authorization, you can see that we have selected the collection level authorization as API key, and we have added the key as API-key and the value as Postman rules. Ensure all these details are set before we go ahead and test our collection. Now if you have any doubts, you can obviously revisit the previous lessons and watch the practical videos as well. Now let's go ahead and share this collection and get a URL. How do we do that? Hover over Postman Library API v2, you will see these 3 dots, click on them and click on the very first item, which is share. Once you click on share, you will see an option to click via API. Let's click that option. And here you will see an option to generate a key. Now this is a read-only key, so it's not a safety hazard, but if you are having personal details in your collection, you should not kind of share this URL with others. We don't have to worry about it because it's a personal workspace, so it is anyway not shared with anyone. It's our own workspace. As you can see, the key is generated. Let's copy this URL. Awesome. Now that we have the URL, we can test this. Now to do that, let's go to the collection test. Remember, we learned about variables before, right? So we are not going to directly run the request, but first we are going to set the variable. So if you go to collection test and if you click on variables, here you can see a variable called as submission. Let's add our collection URL initial value and in the current value. make sure you save this collection before we go ahead and execute this. Once this is done, we are all set to run the halfway check request. Let's go ahead and run the halfway check. Here you can see, the same URL variable is present right here and it is already set. Now let's go ahead and hit it send. Now, if you hit send, you see JSON response, but we don't have to look at that. You can see there's a test results tab. Let's click on that. And you can see it says 16 on 16. Now, if you receive 16 on 16, congratulations, because you have completed the halfway check exactly as it is intended, right? So you can see all the tests which are passing. So you can actually see all the tests which are available, right? Now, if for some reason you miss some steps, you will see failed test here, okay? And in that case, you will not see 16 on 16, you might see 14 on 16 or 10 on 16. Now, the easier way is to just go ahead and fix this. You can actually read the error message and you can fix, and find the errors where they are and go ahead and fix them. I'll show you how to troubleshoot it. So if you go back to Academy and you scroll down all the way down, you can actually see that we have a Discord channel where you can ask for support. So if you are getting error, you can kind of, go ahead and join this Discord server and ask for support. We also have a detailed FAQ right here. So if you click on the FAQ, it will open a new tab and there you can see detailed QA for each test case. If you click on that, you can actually see every error message and possible fix for that error message. So yeah, you can try, and go ahead and, resolve it yourself. So yeah, best of luck for your halfway check, and I hope you pass all the tests. Make sure you're passing all the tests before we move further, because the final check is where we will, completely test our collection and then claim our certification. So yeah, congratulations to all of those who received 16 on 16, and for others, please go ahead and troubleshoot it, and I'll see you in the next lesson.